God says, "You are about to become unstoppably rich. Believe it. Yes, you." Reading these very words have been led here by no mere accident. There is a divine orchestration at work that has guided you to this message, a message that could very well change the entire trajectory of your life. For too long, you may have believed that abundance was something distant, reserved for a chosen few, or locked away behind doors you couldn't open. But listen closely. God is shifting everything in your favor. Something extraordinary is unfolding in this very moment. Doors you thought were sealed are already swinging wide open, and the wealth you once saw as impossible is on its way. Take a deep breath. Let the reality of these words settle into your spirit. This isn't about mere luck. This isn't about random chance. This is about divine intention, a cosmic alignment designed to lift you from where you stand and place you on the path to unstoppable riches. Your past struggles, your financial setbacks, your late-night worries about tomorrow's bills, all of that is being eclipsed by a promise that stands stronger than any obstacle. You are on the verge of witnessing what it means to have the Creator of the universe pave the road to your breakthrough. But before we go further, I invite you to make a declaration of faith that will echo throughout every corner of your life. Comment the number 777 below. This isn't just a casual act. By typing 777, you are stepping out of mere possibility and into divine expectancy. You are signaling to all of creation that you are ready to receive the wealth and the blessings that God has meticulously prepared for you. It's a small action with massive spiritual weight. Your simple comment could ignite a chain reaction of miraculous events, aligning the right people, opportunities, and resources to come into your life at precisely the right time. Stay with me until the end of this message, because every word you read is another step on the path toward the financial freedom you've been praying for. Let these words stir your soul and awaken that dormant hope that's been longing to burst forth. You might have questioned if your dreams are too big or if your goals are unrealistic. You may have asked, "Can I truly break free from the limitations I see all around me?" The answer is a resounding yes. Not because of your own effort alone, but because God's limitless power is manifesting in your life, starting now. Imagine walking into a season where every dollar you need appears right when you need it. Imagine no longer having to wonder if your bank account can handle the unexpected because it's overflowing in ways you couldn't have scripted yourself. This is not pie-in-the-sky fantasy. It's the reality that awaits those who dare to believe in the unimaginable goodness of God. Look at every moment in your life where you thought it was over, yet somehow you pulled through. Every instance where you felt backed into a corner and still you found a way out. Those were not coincidences. They were previews of what divine intervention looks like. Now, the scale is about to magnify beyond anything you've experienced. The same force that lifted you before is about to accelerate your finances, multiply your resources, and establish a brand new story of unstoppable riches in your life. There is a reason messages like this resonate so deeply. Your spirit recognizes truth when it hears it. You feel that stirring inside, a gentle but persistent nudge that says, "Yes, this is for me. Yes, I'm ready. Yes, my time has come." And you're right. You've spent enough time in the waiting room of life. You've watched others step into their season of abundance and quietly wondered when your turn would arrive. Let me remind you of one unshakable reality. God's plan for you is not small, and it's never late. It is perfectly orchestrated, and right now, it's aligning every factor necessary for your rise. Yet many hold on to doubt, shaped by disappointments of the past. They've tried before and failed. They've prayed before and didn't see an immediate result. But in divine timing, delay does not mean denial. A closed door sometimes means there's a better one about to be revealed. What feels like endless waiting often precedes the greatest breakthrough. And your breakthrough is not just coming, it's already been set into motion. Right now, behind the scenes, threads are weaving together in ways you can't yet see. The supernatural realm is active, orchestrating a shift so profound that it will leave you in awe. Let go of every voice that says, "This isn't for you," or "It's never going to happen." Let go of the doubt that whispers, "You're aiming too high." Embrace the truth that the very God who breathes stars into existence is capable of flooding your life with the wealth you need. Even the most unshakable walls can crumble when confronted with divine power. Scripture reminds us that, with faith, even the size of a mustard seed, we can move mountains. If entire mountains can shift, what is financial lack compared to that magnitude? God says, you're stepping into a new reality, one where your efforts are multiplied, your ideas flourish, and every investment of time, talent, and energy yields results that surpass your greatest hopes. You are about to become unstoppably rich. Not just monetarily, but rich in opportunities, relationships, and the ability to touch lives around you. Because when God blesses you, it's never just for you alone. You become an instrument, a vessel, a living example of what can happen when heaven's abundance pours into an open, expectant heart. Pause a moment and picture the next phase of your life. Picture the financial weight lifting, the confidence surging, the day you look at your resources and realize you can bless others without a second thought. You are on the precipice of that reality. There's a reason you've been feeling that deeper pull. There's a reason you're reading these words with a mix of excitement and reverent anticipation. The seeds of your unstoppable prosperity are already sown. The harvest is imminent. But every harvest requires action. Right now, that action is faith. If you haven't already, comment 777 below as your public, unstoppable declaration that you are done letting doubt speak louder than promise. Let your voice ring out in the spiritual realm that you stand ready. You're affirming, "I am worthy of the blessings God has set aside. I embrace them fully." This posture of expectancy is like an open door. The resources that once seemed elusive find their way to you because you are now aligned with the supernatural flow of provision. Reflect on the stories of people throughout history who rose from adversity to abundance. They often had nothing but a spark of hope and an unyielding trust that circumstances would bend to their faith, and they did. Over and over we see it. Extraordinary results come from those who dare to believe. You might feel ordinary, but with divine favor, you become unstoppable. If any part of you doubts that you can achieve radical financial success, remind that doubt. You serve a God who made water spring from desert rocks, who turned meager loaves and fishes into a feast for thousands. If he can do that, surely he can guide you into boundless wealth. Now let's talk about the illusions that keep most people stuck. Society has told us that wealth is a finite resource, or that we must hustle relentlessly just to get a tiny slice of the pie. But when you step into God's economy, you discover there is infinite supply. The question is not, does the blessing exist? The question is, are you ready to receive it? Because a closed mind, hardened by disappointment, can block even the greatest outpouring of favor. That's why the act of publicly declaring your openness by commenting 777 holds such power. It's a heartfelt statement that says, "I am no longer bound by limitations of the past. My arms are open, my heart is ready, and I am aligning myself with God's abundant plan." Your unstoppable riches will come in multiple forms. Yes, financial blessings are part of it, but so is a wealth of peace, of purpose, of renewed passion for life. Because what good is a bank account overflowing if your soul is bankrupt? God's blessings run deeper than monetary gain. They transform your spirit, they lift your perspective, they amplify your gifts and talents. You'll find that as you walk this path of divine abundance, you will exude confidence that draws the right people and opportunities into your orbit. Your dreams become clearer, your motivation intensifies, and your every step is guided by an inner compass aligned with higher truth. Think of the times you felt a nudge to pursue a particular goal, but fear held you back. Fear that it might fail, fear that you weren't enough, fear that you misheard the direction. Today, let those fears dissolve in the light of this powerful truth. God has destined you for unstoppable riches. There is no fear that can stand in the way of a heart that chooses to trust a power greater than any earthly circumstance. And as you trust, you'll see the puzzle pieces fit together in ways you never imagined. You'll meet the mentor who opens your eyes to new opportunities. You'll receive the phone call offering precisely what you've been praying for. You'll witness synchronicities so detailed that you know only heaven could have scripted them. But remember, your story won't just be about personal gain. Once you are established in the fullness of abundance, you'll realize the deeper purpose, to be a conduit of blessing for others. When we have the resources to lift others, to invest in causes that matter, to shelter those who are vulnerable, then we see the true power of unstoppable riches. It's not about hoarding wealth, it's about letting the overflow transform not just your own life, but the lives of people around you. That's the beauty of God's design. Your overflow becomes someone else's answered prayer. So stay with me. Keep your heart open. Let each word penetrate past cynicism and doubt into that sacred place within you that dares to dream of more. God says, you're about to become unstoppably rich. Believe it. These words are not idle. They carry the weight of divine promise. Sometimes we hear such grand statements and immediately dismiss them, thinking they're too good to be true. But with God, there is no such thing as too good. With God, your greatest imagination is merely the starting line. And you, reading this now, are called to step beyond what you've known and into the extraordinary. Look at the pattern of your life. Has there ever been a time when you truly, deeply trusted a divine nudge and it failed you? Even if the result wasn't what you initially expected, it led you to the right lesson, the right pivot, the right transformation at the right time. That same guiding hand is now pointing you toward financial elevation. The details might be hidden for the moment, but the promise stands firm. Your finances, your career, your sense of security, all are shifting into a realm of blessing you might have only fantasized about. Let your faith rise. Feel that tingle of excitement that signals something monumental is happening right here and now. If you've ever stared at your bills and wondered how they'd get paid, if you've ever second-guessed whether you had what it takes to break generational cycles of lack, rest assured, the chains that once held you are broken. The floodgates of abundance are about to burst open. When God moves, limitations crumble. It might defy logic. It might defy what those around you believe is possible. But that's exactly how you'll know it's divine. When the outcome is far beyond what human strength and wisdom could achieve alone. You are on the cusp of rewriting your story. What once was a narrative of survival is becoming a tale of triumph. What once felt like repetitive dead ends is about to reveal a highway of opportunity. But it starts here, with your belief, your yes, your willingness to say, I receive this promise of unstoppable riches. If you haven't typed 777 yet, do it now. Let the world see your faith. Let heaven register your readiness. And let your future be marked by this single moment where you chose to align with a promise bigger than any obstacle. Remember, though, this is just the beginning. As your faith expands, you'll see new doors open. You'll wake up with strategies, with divine inspiration for projects and ventures that practically print prosperity. You'll connect with the right people who share your vision and accelerate your plans. You'll watch as circumstances you once labeled impossible transform overnight. Because when you step into the realm of God's favor, you're no longer tethered to what your limited mind can conceive. You're plugged into an unlimited source, and that changes everything. Keep your heart free from envy or comparison. Your journey is unique. The timeline that unfolds for you is tailor-made to reveal the fullness of your purpose. Clarity and direction will flow effortlessly in this new chapter, guiding each step you take. Where there was confusion, there will now be crystal clear understanding. Where there was fear, boldness takes root. Where there was delay, acceleration becomes your new normal. This is your destiny. Unstoppable, uncontainable, unmatched riches, packaged not just in money, but in every good thing your soul has craved. It's not wrong to desire financial blessing. Money is not the root of evil. The love of money above all else is. But when you place God at the center, wealth becomes a tool for greater good. It allows you to live fully, to give generously, to expand the vision He has placed in your heart. You were made for more than just scraping by. You were designed to reflect the abundant nature of the One who created you. Do not shy away from this truth. Embrace it wholeheartedly. The bigger your blessing, the bigger your ability to impact the world for the better. Let these words echo in your mind. I am stepping into God's promise of unstoppable riches, and no force on earth can hold me back. Affirm it daily, speak it aloud. Write it on paper if you must, because faith is not passive, it's active, alive, and potent. Each time you declare this promise, you reinforce the spiritual reality that your new season is here. You realign your thoughts, words, and actions with the abundance that has been earmarked for you since the beginning of time. Some people around you might question it. They might ask, "Who do you think you are?" Or, "Why would you expect something so big?" Gently remind yourself that their skepticism does not bind you. You've aligned yourself with a voice far higher than human opinion. Let their doubts fall away. You have been called to stand in a realm of blessings that isn't always understood by those who haven't experienced it yet. And maybe, just maybe, your testimony of unstoppable riches will awaken others to the possibilities that lie within their own lives. Consider the ripple effect. Once you break through into unstoppable wealth, you become living proof that God's promises are real and accessible. You become a testament that no matter the background, no matter the previous failures, no matter the zero balance in your account, everything can turn around in an instant. Your story could be the spark that ignites faith in someone else's heart. So own your testimony. Stand tall in the knowledge that you're not only pursuing abundance for yourself, but also blazing a trail for others to follow. You might wonder, what if I fail? Let me tell you something powerful. In God's plan, even what looks like failure can be a setup for an even greater comeback. Sometimes the path to unstoppable riches involves detours that seem like losses. But each detour is a refining process, developing perseverance and revealing hidden layers of your resilience. True wealth is built not just on external gain, but on the character you cultivate in the process. And when character meets divine favor, the results are unstoppable. Take a moment to picture that unstoppable future again. Visualize stepping into a realm where finances flow so abundantly that you freely invest in your dreams and give to those who need it. You no longer weigh decisions solely on cost. Instead, you weigh them on purpose and impact. Your life radiates an unshakable peace because you know your provision is secure. That is the reality awaiting you, and every day you step forward in faith, you bring that reality closer into view. Yes, your unstoppable riches are coming. Rapidly, mightily, undeniably. Yet do not box in how God will deliver them. It might come through a sudden career opportunity, a business idea that takes off, an unexpected partnership, or even a series of smaller blessings that cascade into immense favor. The key is remaining open and obedient. When an opportunity comes, you'll know. Your spirit will recognize it as the very thing you've been preparing for. Doors others walk past blindly will appear golden to you because you've trained your vision to see what God is illuminating. As these doors open, walk through them boldly. Do not second-guess yourself. This is not the time for small thinking or half measures. This is your moment to act, fueled by the knowledge that heaven stands behind you. The same God who placed the vision in your heart is equipping you with every resource needed to fulfill it, and the finances you've longed for are part of that resource pool. Heaven's storehouses don't operate by the rules of the world. They respond to faith, to readiness, to a heart aligned with divine purpose. So keep speaking life over your finances, your ideas, and your future. Words hold creative power. When you declare unstoppable riches, you are sculpting the framework for what unfolds next. Life and death are in the power of the tongue, we're reminded. So choose life. Choose to speak words that magnify what God is doing rather than the obstacles you see. Choose to affirm that the best is yet to come, that your steps are ordered, that no barrier is too great to overcome. In doing so, you literally pave the way for unstoppable blessings to manifest. Do you feel the shift happening? The air seems charged with expectancy, a holy anticipation that something remarkable is about to burst forth. Keep your mind free of clutter. Clean out the mental baggage that says you're not good enough or that your past disqualifies you. Let your heart settle on this unchanging truth. God is for you, not against you. When the divine stands on your side, the scale is already tipped immeasurably in your favor. Circumstances may look impossible, but impossibility is the fertile ground for miracles. Right now, as you read these words, let every fiber of your being vibrate with the certainty that unstoppable riches are not a distant fantasy, but an imminent reality. You're about to witness what happens when faith meets opportunity, when prayer meets perfect timing, and when the doors of heaven swing open to pour out blessing upon blessing into your lap. You won't just survive, you'll thrive. You won't just dream, you'll achieve. And you won't just talk about financial breakthrough. You'll live it, breathe it, and watch it multiply. If any lingering doubt tries to creep in, remind yourself that you stand on promises forged by a power greater than any earthly system. Banks may fail, economies may fluctuate, but the sustaining power of God doesn't waver. By anchoring your trust in that truth, you place yourself in a realm where unstoppable riches are as normal as sunrise. Not because of who you are alone, but because of whose you are. You belong to a divine kingdom, unshaken by the world's uncertainty, unstoppable in generosity. Let your imagination run wild for a moment. Envision your wildest dreams funded, your every philanthropic desire realized. Envision the people who will be set free from their burdens because you had the resources to help. Imagine the legacy you will leave, a legacy that doesn't just talk about faith but demonstrates its tangible blessings. This is where you're heading. Keep that vision alive as you move through each day, fueling you with excitement instead of dread, with hope instead of anxiety. Because the truth is, you're not waiting for unstoppable riches. They have been waiting for you. Waiting for you to rise above your limiting beliefs, to step into alignment and to say yes wholeheartedly. The moment your yes collides with God's promise, you step into a timeline where limitations melt away. And it's happening right now as you open your heart and embrace this word. There is no secret formula here, just faith, readiness, and the boldness to seize the opportunities. When a divine prompting nudges you to act, don't hesitate. When an unlikely door appears, walk through it with confidence. Heaven's backing ensures you'll find solid ground, even if it looks like a leap of faith. This is the unstoppable mindset. It's the mindset that builds empires, that births revolutions in every field, that transforms ordinary people into forces of nature. And you, reading this, are among those who dare to step out of the boat and walk on water. So now we've come to a pivotal juncture in this message. You've heard the call, you've been invited to comment 777 and mark this as the day you crossed from hoping into knowing. You've felt that stirring of faith that says your unstoppable riches are on the horizon. The question is, will you keep going? Will you hold firm to what you've received? Or will you let the distractions of life overshadow this divine moment? The choice is yours, and yours alone. Every powerful journey has moments like this, a pivotal decision to either lean in and let the miracle unfold, or to shrink back in doubt. But the unstoppable route is always forward, always deeper, always higher. If you are ready to press on, to continue fueling this flame of faith, then let's go further. Let's step boldly together into the vast realm of unstoppable riches, unafraid of what might come next. Because we know who guides us, and we trust that divine guidance wholeheartedly. Take a moment to breathe, to settle into the realization that something profound is happening within you and around you right now. You might not see the full picture yet, but trust that every step you take in faith will reveal the roadmap in perfect timing. You're on the cusp of an extraordinary shift, and the very atmosphere around you seems charged with divine possibility. Here's the beautiful thing. God's plan for you doesn't require you to become someone else. It doesn't demand that you imitate another person's calling or chase trends that don't resonate with your spirit. On the contrary, unstoppable riches become a reality when you lean into the unique design and purpose God placed within you from the start. No longer do you need to mold yourself to fit someone else's story. You have your own epic narrative unfolding, complete with miracles tailor-made to your calling. Yes, the waiting has been real. The frustration of seeing others rise while you wondered if you were somehow overlooked. That's been real too. But none of it has been wasted. Think of it as training ground, a sacred space where your character, resolve, and faith have been refined. Many times people want the final destination without the journey, the harvest without the planting season. But the fullness of unstoppable riches is best handled by those who have been prepared inwardly for an outward overflow. And that's exactly what your experiences have done. They've prepared you. Take King David in Scripture, for example. He spent years tending sheep, overlooked by his own family, before he ever ascended to the throne. The isolation of those fields wasn't pointless. It was the perfect environment for David to cultivate a heart tuned to God's frequency, a heart that would later manage a kingdom. Likewise, every door that closed on you, every disappointment you navigated, has secretly been equipping you to handle great wealth and influence with grace rather than arrogance. Today, let any lingering bitterness dissolve. Release the grudges, the regrets, the questions of why not sooner. Replace them with a steadfast faith that now is your season, that everything until this moment was leading you here. Spiritual riches flow best through a vessel not clogged with resentment. So, lighten your load, clear the channels, let your heart become a wide-open field ready to receive seeds of abundance that will sprout faster than you ever imagined. And don't worry that you might somehow miss the next step. When God opens a door, it's unmistakable, especially if you've attuned your spirit to recognize divine promptings. There might be a nudge to apply for a position that seems out of reach, an invitation to partner with someone whose vision aligns with yours, or a sudden opportunity to turn a passion project into a profitable venture. In each of these scenarios, your role isn't to figure out if you're qualified enough. Your role is to say yes when you sense that divine spark. Because God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. In practical terms, unstoppable riches could look like a booming business. It could also look like a flourishing creative career, or a ministry that supernaturally attracts financial sustenance. It might be real estate breakthroughs or sudden promotions, sponsorships and expansions. The method is limitless. What remains constant is the principle that when you align with divine purpose and respond in faith, resources flow. The bigger your vision, the more it invites the abundant nature of God to show up. Yet let's address a crucial point. This journey isn't about greed or selfish ambition. It's about stepping into your rightful inheritance so you can steward it for good. Prosperity, coupled with purpose, is a powerful force. It helps the needy, funds the struggling, empowers missions, invests in dreams that transform communities. Imagine the ripple effect of your yes. The families fed, the scholarships created, the life-changing projects launched. That's the heartbeat of unstoppable riches. It's never just about you. It's about how far your blessings can reach once they overflow. Reflect for a moment on the people you admire, those who used wealth not as a pedestal for ego, but as a platform for impact. Perhaps it's a philanthropist who helped rebuild entire towns after disasters, or someone who ensured a generation of children got education they never thought possible. These stories aren't outliers. They are echoes of what can happen when a person's finances become a channel for divine love. There's no reason that can't be you. There's no reason your story can't shine just as brightly. The only question is whether you're prepared to walk through the open doors and hold the blessings responsibly. Let's affirm something deeply. You are ready. You wouldn't have reached this point if you weren't. The fact that your heart is resonating with these words proves your spirit has matured. While others might scoff or grow cynical, you remain open. And openness is the seedbed for miracles. Your mindset is shifting from scarcity to overflow, from fear to confidence, from passivity to action. Some might call that faith, but you'll also discover it's a divine principle that sets unstoppable riches into motion. Those who cling too tightly to the past or to familiar comforts rarely capture the extraordinary. So if there's an inner stirring telling you to dare big, to think beyond your current circle, honor it, step out, because unstoppable riches favor the risk-takers whose hearts are fully convinced that if God be for them, no obstacle can ultimately prevail. This doesn't guarantee a storm-free journey, but it guarantees that no storm can capsize you. The biggest blockade between people and their destiny is often an unrenewed mind. A mind plagued by negative self-talk, by whispers that say, "I'm not worthy," or "I'll never measure up." Let this be the day those lies lose their hold, for you have a divine endorsement that outranks any human doubt. You carry seeds of promise, and the harvest is unstoppable when watered by faith. Speak it aloud if you must. I am chosen, I am equipped, and unstoppable riches are flowing my way. If any new wave of doubt arises, consider the testimonies from your own life. Remember the close calls you survived, the breakthroughs that arrived at the 11th hour. Each was a preview of God's faithfulness. And if He was faithful then, He remains so now. With that assurance, you can tackle giant dreams without flinching, because the same power that parted seas in ancient times can part the seas of financial adversity you face today. The principles of spiritual alignment haven't changed. When hearts are ready, heaven responds. Picture yourself a year from now, 2 years from now. How different does it look once unstoppable riches have taken root? Do you see a more relaxed version of yourself, free from the constant worry of bills? Do you see a more generous version of yourself, able to donate significant amounts without hesitation? Do you see a bolder version of yourself, building initiatives that once only existed in your imagination? That future self is already waiting for you to claim it. And your decisions in this season lay the foundation for that reality. Take solace in the fact that nobody else's timeline can cancel yours. Comparisons fade when you understand that your path is orchestrated specifically for you. Another person's early breakthrough isn't your never, it's just proof that breakthroughs happen, yours included. so you can celebrate others' success as a testament that God is in the blessing business. The line for miracles is always moving, and you're definitely still in it. As unstoppable riches begin to manifest, let's not forget the importance of humility. While it's perfectly fine to stand tall in your victory, humility keeps you anchored, remembering who the true source is. It also keeps your heart teachable, so that wealth doesn't become an idol but remains a tool. This balance between confidence in divine favor and recognition of the giver is what ensures your blessing doesn't distort your character. Now, you might ask, what if obstacles keep popping up? What if I feel like the more I believe, the more resistance I face? That can indeed happen. Sometimes the spiritual realm reacts strongly when a new wave of faith arises. Think of it like a final test before you claim your inheritance. But remember, resistance doesn't mean defeat. It's often the sign you're on the brink of something massive. Press on, don't give in. One push through that barrier could reveal a floodgate of opportunity waiting on the other side. Also, keep your spiritual ears open for divine instructions. Sometimes unstoppable riches flow not just by random luck, but by strategic guidance, a sudden instinct to connect with an old acquaintance, an idea you can't shake, or a shift in direction that feels oddly right. Pay attention. These nudges are how heaven can whisper, "Here's the next step." Move on them promptly. Delay too long, and you risk letting the door swing shut. But if you move in sync with these nudges, you'll find yourself standing where miracles unfold naturally. At this point, you might be sensing an energy stirring in your spirit that you can't fully describe, like gears clicking into place. Welcome that feeling. Let it be the fuel that drives you to keep pressing forward, to keep declaring that unstoppable riches are your portion. Because when your inner reality aligns with God's promises, it's only a matter of time before your outer reality follows suit. Stay in community with those who uplift you. Surround yourself with people who don't belittle big dreams but champion them. This might mean stepping away from certain circles that constantly speak lack and impossibility. It doesn't mean you stop loving them. It just means you're guarding your environment, because unstoppable riches flourish best in a climate of faith. Fellowship with individuals who also believe in the audacity of miracles, who see you as God sees you, capable, chosen, unstoppable. Whenever discouragement tries to creep in, find your anchor. That could be prayer, meditation, a favorite scripture, or an encouraging playlist that keeps your mindset high. You're reprogramming years, perhaps generations, of thinking that said you have to settle. Old thought patterns might try to reassert themselves, but each time they do, meet them with the truth. I am destined for unstoppable riches. My life is aligning with that destiny right now. Over time, those old patterns will fade, replaced by an unwavering conviction that unstoppable riches are your reality. And yes, keep sharing your progress, your small and big wins alike. Each victory, no matter how humble, is worth celebrating because it's evidence of momentum. Perhaps you land a job interview you never expected to get, or you find an investor for a project you thought was a long shot, or your creative work suddenly gains traction. These are the stepping stones, the preludes to the larger symphony of blessings. The preludes to the larger symphony of blessing. Acknowledge them. Gratitude multiplies blessings faster than anything else. You might also find that as unstoppable riches become more tangible, you develop a heightened sense of responsibility. You start asking deeper questions, like, how can I use this to bring positive change? Or, who can I mentor or empower with these resources? That's not a burden, it's a sign of maturity. When riches meet maturity, it translates into legacy. You move beyond personal gain to eternal impact. And that truly is where the joy of abundance lies, knowing that your overflow becomes a lifeline for others and a testament to God's goodness. So keep going, keep declaring, keep stepping, because each action you take in faith is carving out a path that leads straight to the realm of unstoppable riches. Every day is a fresh opportunity to move deeper into that promise, to peel back another layer of doubt and replace it with unwavering trust. Remember, transformation isn't always a single event. It's often a process that step by step is forging you into a magnet for blessings. You've come too far to settle. You've endured too much to stop believing now. The God who brought you here is the same one who stands ready to pour out blessings in ways that will astonish you. Let that sink in. Let it spark the fire of anticipation anew, because unstoppable riches are more than a catchy phrase. They are the embodied reality of a life lived in sync with divine favor, and that reality is calling your name this very moment. Your story is still unfolding. Each chapter that's yet to be written holds revelations of grace and abundance that even your most vivid daydreams can't fully capture. Yes, there may be twists and turns, but that only makes the journey richer. Because in those twists you'll see the hand of God weaving beauty out of confusion, turning stumbling blocks into stepping stones and trials into testimonies. Now, if your heart is still crying out for more, if you feel the wave of this message lifting you to new heights, then let's keep ascending together. There is still so much to unveil, so much to delve into. The script of unstoppable wealth is lengthy because your destiny is grand, and the story of your breakthrough is still being told. Each new layer reveals a deeper truth, a firmer grounding, a clearer conviction that unstoppable riches are not just for others, they are for you. Every new sunrise you see is a reminder that the story of your life isn't finished. Even when circumstances seem static, beneath the surface seeds of transformation are taking root. It might feel like you're treading water, waiting for a sign or a breakthrough, but rest assured, each day that passes is another moment God uses to prepare and position you. His timing, although mysterious, is perfectly orchestrated to reveal unstoppable riches at the exact moment you're equipped to handle them. Sometimes you may wrestle with the question, why not yesterday? Why not last month or last year? The longer you linger on that question, the more it can entangle your spirit in impatience. But look back at how you've grown over the past months or years. Notice the resilience you've gained, the wisdom gleaned from disappointment, the compassion that rose from your own struggles. Those are qualities that money can't buy. Qualities that will ensure you use unstoppable riches in ways that expand good rather than inflate ego. You cannot skip these growth phases because they become the very foundation of your future influence. And make no mistake, unstoppable riches will grant you influence. When resources flow, your words often carry more weight. People look to those who stand confidently in blessings to see how they live, how they speak, how they respond to adversity. In this sense, wealth becomes a loudspeaker for your character. That's why the preparation process matters so deeply. So if you've questioned the delays, see them now as loving intervals where your heart was shaped for a higher calling. Let patience fully blossom in you so that you lack nothing, standing mature and ready when the bounty arrives. As you move through your days, pay attention to your emotional and mental diet. What you feed your soul is just as critical as what you feed your body. Are you consuming hope-filled content? Or do you allow negativity to seep in and dominate your mindset? Because unstoppable riches don't merely respond to outward actions, they respond to the atmosphere of your inner life. Keep your heart guarded against endless pessimism or cynicism. When you notice thoughts like, "It'll never work out," or "I'm stuck," gently but firmly replace them with affirmations anchored in divine truth. "I am on the path to unlimited provision," or "My steps are ordered and my future is abundant." These verbal seeds, repeated consistently, start to reshape not only your mindset, but also the spiritual environment around you. It's easy to compare yourself to someone who seems to have soared ahead with less effort, yet comparison is a thief, robbing you of the joy and uniqueness of your own journey. Your unstoppable riches are distinct, catered to your destiny. Another person might appear to reach certain milestones faster, but their destination might not be the same as yours. If you measure your worth by someone else's highlight reel, you risk forsaking the personal miracles unfolding in your own life. Instead, celebrate others' blessings as evidence that you too live in a world where remarkable things happen every day. Let it fuel your gratitude and expectancy rather than envy. If you find your faith waning, look for testimonies. Real stories of people who once stood exactly where you stand, uncertain but hopeful, only to discover that God's timing was immaculate. These stories act like signposts pointing you toward the same possibilities. Often, they'll remind you that the greatest breakthroughs happened right at the brink of someone's breaking point. When your back is against the wall and hope seems barely visible, it's often the moment heaven steps in to make the impossible tangible. Let these accounts recalibrate your perspective. If it happened for them, it can happen for you. Keep your spirit open to the subtle ways destiny aligns. Sometimes unstoppable riches aren't heralded by thunderclaps or dramatic signs, but by quiet shifts. An unexpected phone call, a small idea that snowballs into an empire, a casual conversation with a stranger that evolves into a life-altering partnership. One yes can cascade into an avalanche of favor. Yet these moments can only activate if you're spiritually awake enough to discern them. Staying present is key. Avoid drifting through your days on autopilot. Tune your heart to watch for God's gentle nudges, those intuitive sparks that prompt you to act or connect. The world may push a narrative that you must grind incessantly, sacrificing peace and relationships just to accumulate. But God's route to unstoppable riches operates differently. Though diligence and action are required, divine blessing can multiply your results in a fraction of the usual time. It's the principle of sowing and reaping, yes, but accelerated by favor. Think of moments in Scripture: crops growing supernaturally, debts cancelled overnight, ravens bringing provision. These stories aren't myths, they're demonstrations of how God's economy transcends the limitations we place on time and resources. When your blessing starts manifesting, be on guard against pride. Pride subtly whispers that your achievements are solely due to your own genius. While your talents and persistence matter, the ultimate success you're about to see is a tapestry woven from your willingness and God's orchestration. Keeping this perspective nurtures gratitude and humility, safeguarding the blessing from corrupting your heart. Indeed, humility is often the fastest route to even greater favor. Those who remain teachable and generous find their capacity to handle more abundance continually expands. Likewise, remember that unstoppable riches don't eradicate trials. They position you to face trials from a place of strength. Even with resources, life can throw curveballs, unexpected losses, health crises, challenging people. But your vantage point shifts dramatically when you're not crippled by financial stress or scarcity thinking. Instead of survival mode, you operate in solution mode. Problems don't vanish, they become solvable, and you have the bandwidth to approach them creatively. It's a shift from, "Oh no, how do I cope?" to, "I can handle this, and I can help others handle it too." That's the essence of unstoppable living. As you rise, you'll notice something intriguing. Your circle might change. Some relationships flourish as they celebrate your blessing. Others may shrink back due to jealousy or discomfort. Don't be alarmed. Seasons of abundance often clarify who truly supports you. Cling to those who cheer you on, who find genuine joy in your success. The The people meant to journey with you into greater territories will adapt and grow alongside you. Those who prefer to dwell in negativity may not desire to join you, and forcing them only breeds resentment. This phase also invites you to forgive the past. Bitterness, especially bitterness tied to financial or emotional harm, can block the flow of new blessings. If there are lingering wounds from deals gone wrong or people who betrayed your trust, now is the time to release them. Forgiving doesn't excuse their actions, but it severs the emotional cord that tethers you to a point of pain. As you let go, you free up mental and spiritual energy to receive what's next. It's like clearing clutter to make room for new treasures, and in the realm of unstoppable riches, you want all the space you can get. Keep your radar up for divine ideas. Sometimes an insight will strike you in the midst of everyday tasks, a sudden notion about how to solve a problem or create a new product, or an unorthodox solution that seems crazy but just might work. Don't dismiss these bursts of inspiration. Write them down, pray or meditate on them, and see if they persist. The biggest shifts in your financial trajectory can hinge on a single God-inspired idea. History is filled with testimonies of individuals who trusted such nudges and ended up birthing industries, innovations, or movements that redefined entire sectors. You don't have to go it alone. One of the hidden riches of a blessed life is the synergy that comes from partnership. Whether in business, ministry, or creative endeavors, two people aligned in purpose and faith can accomplish exponentially more than either could alone. So stay open to collaborations. When the right person crosses your path, you'll sense an almost electric resonance in your spirit, a confirmation that working together will advance you both. Timing is everything, and so is mutual clarity about values and vision. But when those align, unstoppable really does become unstoppable. And always, always carve out time for reflection. In our noisy world, reflection is a lost art. Yet it's where you integrate lessons, nurture gratitude, and recalibrate your next moves. Spend moments each day in stillness, acknowledging the blessings already present while staying expectant for what's about to unfold. This posture of grounded anticipation is a magnet for favor because it says, I'm grateful for what I have, yet I know the story's not over. That blend of gratitude and expectancy is irresistible to divine abundance. If you find yourself wrestling with old scripts like money is evil or wealth is for selfish people, challenge them. Money itself is neutral. It's the heart behind its use that matters. When good-hearted individuals possess resources, they elevate their communities, shift economies, and bring healing where it's most needed. Reject any notion that says you can't be both righteous and prosperous. In fact, the greatest good can be done by those whose hands are both kind and well-funded. Let that liberate you from any subconscious guilt that tries to tether you to lack. Observe nature for clues. A single seed planted in the right soil, nourished by sun and water, can become a vast tree that bears fruit for countless seasons. That's the principle you're stepping into. You might feel like a seed at times, small and unimpressive. But there's an entire orchard locked within your potential. Each day you remain faithful to your calling. Each moment you water the seed with positive words and bold actions, you inch closer to that orchard becoming visible. And once it does, it'll not only feed you, but provide for many others. Notice how the more you speak about your unstoppable future, the more you sense your atmosphere shifting. Words carry power. They're like creative fuel in the spiritual realm. Don't be surprised if you start seeing subtle confirmations popping up. An unexpected financial boost, repeated messages that align with your new mindset, people who show up to encourage you right when you need it. These signs are gentle winks from heaven saying, yes, you're on the right track, keep going. Yet remain vigilant. The old saying is true, new levels, new devils. As you ascend, you might face fresh temptations or distractions, including the temptation to forget the very principles that got you here. Or you could be lured into ego traps, thinking you're now untouchable by virtue of your resources. That's why humility and alignment remain crucial. This is a walk of faith that doesn't stop once you see your bank balance rising. In fact, that's often where the real stewardship begins. Consider it a privilege that requires daily grounding and reflection on who you truly are. There may be periods where progress seems to stall and you question if the momentum has died. Don't let these plateaus discourage you. Growth often happens in cycles. A burst of progress, a season of steadying, then another surge. During the quiet times, new roots form beneath the surface. Keep believing, keep preparing, and keep sowing seeds of generosity and vision, because when the next surge comes, it'll catapult you further than you thought possible. It's similar to how fruit trees sometimes appear dormant, but are gathering energy for a massive bloom. Lean into the concept of generational blessing. If unstoppable riches were only about your immediate comfort, it might have a shelf life. But when you realize you can set up a legacy that impacts your lineage for years to come, your purpose multiplies. Imagine your children or the young people you mentor growing up in an environment where resources are abundant and directed toward meaningful endeavors. Picture them witnessing philanthropic acts, not as rare anomalies, but as a normal expression of love and gratitude. That vision alone can fan the flames of your determination. At moments you might feel you're carrying the weight of your entire family's future. That can be daunting. But recall, you're never meant to carry it alone. The same divine presence that whispered these promises is the one who will empower you to see them fulfilled. You're a co-laborer, not a lone ranger. Let that awareness lighten your steps. Yes, you take responsibility, but you do so yoked with a supernatural partner who shoulders the heaviest burden. Find pockets of joy along the journey. Dance, sing, laugh. Celebrate each progress marker, no matter how small. Turning your gaze constantly toward blessings enhances their momentum. Joy is a form of spiritual warfare that keeps discouragement at bay. Whenever negativity tries to creep in, respond with a moment of gratitude. List 3 things that are going right, 3 ways you've already been blessed. That quick shift can diffuse the power of complaint or despair in an instant. As your resources grow, don't be surprised if you feel prompted to be extravagantly generous. Acts of uncalculated giving can do more than bless the recipient. They unleash a heavenly principle of reaping what you sow. When you generously plant seeds in good soil, whether that soil is a non-profit, a person in need, a community project, the harvest that returns often exceeds anything you could have orchestrated. It's not transactional, it's spiritual reciprocity, and it firmly establishes you in a cycle where unstoppable riches become self-replenishing. If critics accuse you of focusing too much on finances, let them talk. You know your heart and the bigger picture. You know it's not about hoarding wealth or worshipping money. It's about activating your divine right to make an impact, to live without constant fear of lack, and to fund visions that can transform lives. Keep your eyes on the source, and all that criticism will fade into background noise. In time, the same people who doubted might come asking how they too can experience a life free from scarcity. That's when your story becomes an example, a guiding light for others seeking a better way. Guard your perspective on success. True success isn't about flaunting luxuries or chasing status symbols. It's about alignment with your purpose, internal peace, healthy relationships, and the freedom to pursue what truly matters in life. Unstoppable riches simply expand your capacity to live out that success on a grander scale. You were never designed to live small, overshadowed by bills, or overshadowed by what others say is possible. You're designed to reflect the magnitude of a limitless creator. In quiet moments, visualize the life you're stepping into, not as an empty fantasy, but as a roadmap your spirit is already traversing. Let that vision feel real in your heart. See the places you'll visit, the people you'll help, the projects you'll initiate, the sense of security that allows you to dream bigger dreams. That mental rehearsal primes your mindset for the arrival of unstoppable riches. It's like preparing the ground before planting seeds, ensuring the soil is fertile and ready. As you continue, you might encounter a sense of awe, almost reverence, at how intricately everything is coming together, random events clicking into place, people showing up at the exact moment you need them, new ideas sparking. It can feel surreal, as if you're standing in a sacred flow. Honor that feeling. It's a sign that you're living in step with something much larger than yourself. The best response is humility and gratitude, a willingness to be a channel for blessings. Never underestimate the power of resting in God's presence. In a world that idolizes hustle, stepping back to pray, meditate, or simply be still can seem unproductive. But that stillness recalibrates your soul and opens you to divine downloads. Sometimes, unstoppable riches are delayed because our minds are too cluttered to receive the crucial insight that would unlock the next phase. By carving out intentional space to rest and listen, you create room for God to speak. Often, just one whisper from the throne of grace can shift your entire trajectory. If fear emerges, whispering about worst-case scenarios, respond with faith-filled declarations. Fear imagines a future without God's intervention. Faith knows that no matter what, you're never alone. Affirm that. Even if challenges arise, you are equipped, you are protected, and solutions are already on the way. This posture robs fear of its ability to paralyze you. Instead, it propels you to keep taking confident strides toward your vision. Observe how your sense of identity shifts when you truly believe you're destined for unstoppable riches. The posture of your heart, the way you carry yourself, even how you treat others, everything starts reflecting an inner knowledge that you walk in divine favor. You become more gracious, more forward-thinking, more willing to take leaps that once terrified you. Because on a fundamental level, you grasp that your life is not random. It's undergirded by purpose and promise. Every resource that enters your hand carries potential energy. You can use it to multiply more goodness or let it stagnate. This principle extends beyond finances. Your time, your gifts, your relationships are all resources. As unstoppable riches flow in, consider how you'll multiply them. Will you invest in people, in ideas, in social solutions that break cycles of poverty or despair? That's how you convert mere money into lasting significance. The excitement lies not just in the receiving, but in the creative ways you can channel these blessings to uplift others. At some point, you might feel an urge to dream bigger than you've ever allowed yourself before. Let it happen. Your dream might be to start a global charitable foundation, to build something that honors God and serves the marginalized, or to create a legacy project that outlives you by generations. Don't automatically dismiss it as too large or unrealistic. The nature of unstoppable riches is that they expand with each step of faith you take. What seems outrageous today can become your normal tomorrow if you remain aligned and ready. Stay connected to the people who push you to evolve. Mentors, spiritual leaders, and even peers who themselves walk in abundance can serve as mirrors, reflecting back the areas where you can refine your approach. Sometimes just a single conversation with someone who's already living in a realm of unstoppable favor can catapult you forward. They've navigated pitfalls and learned lessons that you can adopt, shortcutting your own process. This is part of stewarding your journey wisely, recognizing you don't have to learn everything the hard way. And yes, remain authentic. The world doesn't need you to mimic someone else's story. Your unique quirks, talents, and passions are what make your path to unstoppable riches remarkable. Authenticity fosters trust, opens doors to genuine connections, and ensures that the blessings you receive match who you truly are. When you're authentic, You don't waste energy crafting false personas. You pour your energy into building the vision God has placed in your heart, unapologetically being you at every step.